Oh, hello, everyone. I'm Marie LaBrosse,
And I'm Dee Dee Gozion.
and you're listening to WKDW 97.5. That's some real community radio coming to you out of Northport, Florida, from the Bishop West Real Estate Tower, out of a beautiful sunny Florida. Yay! Isn't it gorgeous out right now, Dee Dee?
It is my favorite time of year right now. No humidity, beautiful sunny day, gorgeous. And it's not hot. It's perfect.
And when we're talking about perfect, let's talk about art.
Sure.
The name of our show is Kaleidoscope of the Arts. And Kaleidoscope of the Arts encompass everything from culinary all the way to visual to performing arts to literary art, any type of art to cave paintings. That's art. Our clothing, that is art. Our food that we eat, that is art. So you never know what you're going to get on our show. Correct, Dee?
That's true, Marie.
Well, let's talk before we bring on our beautiful, important guest today. What is happening at that Northport Art Center?
Well, we have a pretty exciting April 3rd coming up. We're having our fashion luncheon tea at the Heron Creek Golf and Country Club. It's going to be a beautiful day. It starts at 11:30. Tickets are still available. It's $45 a seat with a wonderful menu. So we're encompassing that culinary art, and we also have some beautiful clothes. So we're going to be encompassing the couture, and then we're going to have all kind of fun activities going on that day. And Michelle will be our MC. And I do also understand we're going to have a visitor that day. Inside our Audubon Sarasota will be there.
Oh, awesome. That is exciting. I haven't got caught back up on that, so I've been out for a little bit. So let's talk about, I'm getting, hold on a sec, Dee Dee. I got to see where this is coming from. I'm getting a mic problem with you.
A light.
Okay, go ahead and talk now, Dee Dee.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I took off your echo canceling. We're getting some noise from your end.
Oh,
Let me
sorry.
see. Yeah.
I'm not in my normal office. My computer died.
Okay. Oh, and is it going to come back to life? We don't
It's in
think
the
so.
shop. It's in the computer hospital. It's not doing well. It's on life support.
Is there anything that our audience needs to know right now? Because our guests are waiting for us in the background, and they're going to be taking us on tour.
Oh,
So,
excellent. I
yeah,
can't wait.
and for our audience, we are streaming. So, to our radio audio listening audience, you can go to WKDW 97.5 Northport Art Center, those Facebook pages. If you're a personal friend of mine, you can go to mine too. You can also go to our YouTube page, WKDW 97.5 FM, our YouTube page, or my personal YouTube page. And you can go to my Twitter page in case. Oh, and I should tell you who I am. I'm Marie Stanish LaBrosse on Facebook. I am Marie C. LaBrosse on Twitter. And I am, who am I on YouTube? I think I'm Marie LaBrosse there. So anyhow, you can find me. Just Google it if you care to. Okay. Is there anything that we have coming up besides the tea and do we have some receptions that we should talk about?
No, we don't. We have a receiving. Oh, we do have the high school reception, but that's not until April 7th.
Okay. So we have time.
Yeah,
We
we'll
have
talk
other
about it on the
shows.
next show, yeah.
Now, Dee Dee, I'm going to have you introduce us to our next guest.
Oh, our next guest, I met her previously, briefly, but she's part of our Northport Arts Advisory Board. It's Samantha Parkinson, and she's also the executive director at the Englewood Art Center, which is part of the Ringling group of education. So she's a very nice woman, and it's a lovely art center. So I thought it would be wonderful to take a tour. They have 3 different galleries, I believe, and they have all kind of outside art. It's very nice.
And one
So,
of the things that I'm really interested in is how did they ever get connected with the Ringling College of the Arts plus Design?
well, we can ask Samantha that.
Yeah, because that's an interesting thing, and I have not known about that before. So let's introduce them right now. And before we do that, I have to do something with your mic setting because it's coming through. We're getting okay. I think that. Oh, I'm getting echo. Okay, let's see if that helped. I think it might have. Okay, let's bring them on now. Dee Dee, who do we have?
Well, we have Michelle Moore on the spot reporter with
Michelle Moore here on the spot reporter. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. We're in a different time zone. We're in Englewood today at the wonderful Ringling College Inglewood Art Center at 350 South McCall Road here in Inglewood. They've got four wonderful galleries today. And today I have four more, not three, but four. And you're coming in fantastic, Dee Dee. Give me a mic check. Give me a mic check. I've got Samantha Parkinson with us today. She is the wonderful director here at the Ringling College Inglewood Art Center that has 4 galleries. We're so excited to be here today. Thank you, Samantha, for having us.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Well, yeah, I muted her. We're grateful for having you, Samantha. And I know that we were going to have another one of our show hosts coming on with us to actually do the interview with you, but he's been on traveling, so he has not been able to join us. No, let's talk. Yeah, let's talk before you even take us on the road here and on a tour of the art gallery. I'm really curious, when did you get adopted? I don't know if that's the word to use, adopted by the Ringling College of the Arts plus Design. How did that happen, that experience?
So the merger from the Englewood Art Center being an independent nonprofit to it being part of Ringling College happened in 2008. I have been employed here since 2010, so I wasn't here when the original merger happened. But basically, I think a lot of people, if you were here in 2008, you may remember sort of what happened with the economy at that time. And so basically the board of the Art Center at that time approached the college. At the time, the college had another art center on Longboat Key. Some people may remember the Longboat Key Art Center as well. And it just was a situation that worked out for the college and for the art center at the time. And so that merger happened. The Longboat Key Art Center has since taken a different path, and that building is no longer part of the college's sort of footprint. But we are still involved eventually with the programming up there on Longboat Key when they open. There's plans for a facility. I think it's a city project. So the Ringling is, as far as I know, I haven't talked to anybody about it in a couple of years, but so that's how it originally happened.
Okay, so I mean, it's been actually a very good marriage, especially through different times, right? Because of the stability of the Ringling College. So,
absolutely.
And I want to do a shout out right now. We have people, Justin Cody Willis is watching us and they're commenting, and we can see this. For any of the audience people out there that are watching this, and Lee Frechette, and Lee, I probably kill your name because his wife is Tammy Renee, one of the big performers that we have in the area. Now, let's go back to you, Sam, and what's happening at the Englewood Art Center. And I know Michelle's going to take us with you on tour. So explain where we're at right now.
Let me just turn the beat around here. Let me turn that camera around so we get a really nice shot of what's going on in front of us, and we don't have to walk backwards because we know that's not going to work. This is not a circus show. This is an art show. All right. Let's see. Can you see us okay? There we go.
Yes, we can.
So we're going to go into the first of 4 magnificent galleries that are
this
here.
is our main gallery. right here. These are sculptures that are entirely made out of found object and refuse material. Um, Paul is actually one of our ceramics instructors here at the Art Center, but none of this work is ceramic. This is entirely found object sculpture. And Paul's been with us for about 8 years. He's been teaching here. So he's a brilliant artist. You can see there's a lot of detail in the work. He has all of these little, he calls these little pieces that he finds treasures. They're really funny, some of them. They're very whimsical. This is, if you can come back here, this is actually one of everyone's favorite. It's like a little gerbil, and he's like a handyman. He has like a screwdriver and, you know, like a construction style pencil and a tape measure back here and some nails. They're very detailed, but they're also very fun. Again, everything is made entirely from either refuse or collected found objects. Paul's been doing this for a few years, so now he's actually gotten to the point where people have started to give him some of the objects, so they're really fun. You'll notice that some of the sculptures kind of have this black color material on them. These are made from bike inner tubes, the inner tubes from bicycles.
Oh, yes.
And then the ones that are like this, these here, these are made with canvas. So the covering is canvas on these.
So we're going to move a little slower for our audience because we'll get them dizzy. Okay. Yes. Here we are.
One of the things that Paul says about these sculptures, you can see that I'm touching them. We of course don't recommend everyone touch them that comes in, but one of the things he does say about them is he tries to make them so that if they do get knocked off in your home or wherever you have them displayed, that you can just pick it right back up and set it back down, and it'll look exactly the way it did when you.
It has a bumper.
Yes, that's what the bases are built for. This is another one of a favorite around here, this lionfish. Of course, lionfish are sort of destroying the habitat right now, and so he's quite menacing with his, I'm not even sure what his grill is. It's actually some kind of staples or something, but he's actually our second lionfish. We've had another one as well. So, but yeah, they're fun and whimsical, and so we've really enjoyed having this show up. It's going to be up until the 31st of March. And then we'll be putting in the next show in this gallery will be photography by Marie LaForge. She is the owner, if you're familiar at all with Englewood, she's the owner of Mangoes. She's a brilliant photographer as well. So we'll be bringing her photography in for April and May. So that'll be who is in this gallery next.
Oh, this is magnificent, ladies. And I would recommend anyone who's watching or listening, what I am showing you from my phone is nothing compared to the depth that you will see if you come here in person. So what days is the Englewood Art Center open, and the hours, if you'll tell our audience?
Sure, we're here Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So you guys got to come along. I believe we have 3 more galleries to visit. So come join us on Kaleidoscope of the Arts, where we are on location at the beautiful Englewood Art Center. Marie?
Yeah. Yes. And where is that Englewood Art Center located? If I was driving over to Englewood, how would I get there?
Marie, that's great. You can punch in your GPS 350 South McCall Road in beautiful Englewood, Florida. Right here close to the beaches and historic downtown Englewood.
We're about just under a mile from Dearborn Street. If you're familiar with Englewood, almost to Dearborn Street, we're pretty close on the call.
We have now entered the Members Gallery, and I have to tell you, we know Don White. Don White is also a member of the Northport Art Center, and it's lovely to see so much of his work in one place. What can you tell us about this Members Gallery?
So these are part of the series that Don did. Each of the paintings above is accompanied by the sort of study that he did below. They're based on a series of sculptures. I know that several, I believe that he's actually shown several of the paintings prior to this, but to my knowledge, don't quote me on this, but I believe this is the first time that this painting has been shown all together. So it was his intention to sort of paint and show them as a series. In terms of the actual space, the members gallery is a space that, if you're a member of the Art Center, you can simply request to show. We do tend to sort of loosely curate the members gallery to try to show artists whose work kind of aligns with the other studios. So, for example, as I mentioned, we'll have Marie Laurenger Gallery. Next month, we'll have member Frank White. His photographs will be in members gallery. So we do try to loosely curate these things. But otherwise, all you have to do is be a member. And we sort of jokingly say, if you have enough work and you're brave enough to hang it and you're a member of the Art Center, we'll put it in members gallery.
That's
Now,
magnificent.
how much does it cost to become a member?
It's $60 for an individual and $80 for what we call a household, which is just two people residing at the same time.
Okay. So especially if you're an artist, that is the thing to do. So you have a place to hang your paintings or your artwork. Excellent. No, this is interesting because of the work, because it's a Western type theme.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right.
The paintings are based on a series of sculptures, and I believe some of them I'm not sure what maybe he doesn't. But he does have. They are based on three-dimensional sculptures. So the actual horse and rider are based on a series of sculptures, and then the backgrounds are sort of his interpretation of where they might be in the world.
Yeah. Now,
Absolutely.
those who receive the Northport Art Center's newsletter might recognize this beautiful painting, which was recently in our latest newsletter. So to get in contact with Don White, here's his card. You can get in contact with Don White by calling 740-225-9831 at Don White Fine Art. Let us go to the next gallery. This is so exciting.
So this is our largest gallery.
Michelle, would you have Samantha, because we're having sound problems when she turns and stuff,
Okay.
to face it, because we pick you up very modeled. Your voice will
Well,
come
this is a very large room as well, so it's going to have some echoing. All right.
So this is the largest gallery that we have here at Englewood. It's called the Laurenger Gallery, and it's named for the benefactor of this building, Warren Laurenger. We primarily use this gallery for open call shows. Most of those are Englewood Art Center open call shows. However, we do, next month, we'll be hosting the Englewood Camera Club and their open call. We also do the Florida Suncoast Watercolor Society and other groups that do open calls for their particular organization and membership. So we do primarily, these are collective shows in this gallery. You can see on the wall, we have the ribbons of the people who won for this show. The title of the show is Happy Place, and artists were invited to show work that would just invoke a place, a physical place, a type of landscape or cityscape or architectural rendering or something in that vein that invoked happiness for them, joy. And so that's what we were trying to get across here. So you can kind of see around the room, there are different pieces. The judge for this show was Maggie McCullough, and she is one of the oil painting instructors here at the And the policy of the Art Center is that we will occasionally hang our instructors' work, but they're never eligible for prizes in our open calls. We know that they compete other places, but it's just the nature of the way the rules are for our gallery that they don't, they're not eligible for prizes in our shows. So it also makes us have accessibility for them as judges. So yeah, so it was a good show. And there's first place over there.
How many square feet is the building?
It's here for the DVT. And the footage of both buildings is around just under 20,000.
So a pretty decent size. That's actually
Yeah,
very nice for
yeah.
especially. And I have never been to your studio over there, but I've been by it. So I will have to make it come there sometime to be able to
Sounds like
see
a
it.
road trip.
And I've lived here 34 years. You think I would have gone there, but
Yeah,
that
she'll have
is
to come and visit us. Well, as
yeah.
we go down the hallway into our fourth gallery, we're gonna Michelle will be able to peek into a couple of the studios and see what we have going on today. We have at this time we have two open studios, a 2D painting open studio and the ceramics open studio are both active right now. So she may be able to take a peek and
Ooh.
give you a glimpse of what's happening. Also, as we walk down the hall, the work on the right-hand side is all the work of the teachers in example of the classes that they teach. It's not always their private practice, the work that they make in their personal practices, but it is work that they teach here. So those are a couple of things that you might see as we move down the hallway.
All
Okay, let us
right.
go. Maybe Dee Dee will give us a hall pass, Marie, and we can come one day. Okay?
I think so. I think Dee Dee will. In fact, Dee Dee should come with us. We'll
Well,
have to
we
get it
get
on
to
a
find the
day
hall
off.
pass.
Yeah, a
So
hall pass.
we
Oh,
have
look at the
instructors on the
pretty.
book. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I know we
pretty.
have to keep it talking because it's really a radio show. And we have the lovely, she's beautiful, Cheryl Unwin. And she's also an instructor at the Northport Art Center. That looks just like me and my hair. And look at that. Fantastic.
Self-portrait.
So, yeah, no, that's not a self-portrait of Cheryl Unwin. I hope she's not
No,
watching. Anyway,
she has dark hair. I know.
This is the work of our ceramic instructor,
Nicole.
our ceramics here.
All right.
This is our open studio. Some ladies working in watercolor, some abstracts.
Hi, ladies. Hi.
Northport.
So I'm Michelle Moore from Northport Art Center and the Kaleidoscope of the Arts. We're live actually on Facebook right now, and we're doing a wonderful interview at your pretty art center. So thank you so much for all your beautiful art. Say hi to the world. Hi. Yes, we're international. No, we're not. I'm just kidding.
Yes, we are. We are.
Yes, oh, we are. Never mind. Marie LaBrosse says we are. Say hello, England.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And we have over 19,000. No, this show is 17,000 listeners.
17,000 listeners. Wow, Marie, from all over the place?
All over the world. All over the world. Yes.
So here is Don Melander's beautiful watercolor work.
Beautiful. No,
Diane.
no, the classes, the class that we were right in. No, what was that type of a class? Was that a pot? No, that wasn't pottery.
It's an
What was
open
that?
studio. That was an open studio class at this particular time. So they're doing various different mediums and working together nicely.
Oh,
We
okay.
have Maggie McLennan. She was actually one of our judges for one of our shows. I'm not quite sure which one. Here's a back door to the open studio that you were asking about. So
Okay.
right,
You have
so
a lovely art center.
Thank you so
Samantha.
much.
It really is.
This is the work of Paul Frankie. This is actually the ceramic work that he does. So the artist that I just showed you in the Englewood Gallery, the animals and with all the references, this is the ceramics class. He teaches
wow.
here. So it's very diverse, very different from his personal practice. This is Johan Berman. He's an oil painting instructor here.
Wow.
Yeah, he teaches a still life. This class is actually going on right now, but it's sort of isolated, so we probably won't see them very much. This is a photography class with William Curtis.
What's the secret class? We can't go in.
This is wood carving with Jeff Ellis. We occasionally have an encaustic workshop with Beverly Yankovic. And then our youth classes we have during the school year on the weekends, and then in the summer during the week. Chris Broyles teaches our teen So 13 to 17, and Nicole Miranda teaches our children's classes that are like 5 to 12 years old. And those are separated. I believe it's 5 to 8-year-olds, and then 9 to 12 are the class grouping.
I'll give you a close up on that. This is really darling.
That's really cute. Yeah. And for our listening audience, you can go to any of our Facebook page, either the Northport Art Center or WKDW 97.5, and are able to view this if you want to visually see it instead of just listening to us. Or you can go to our YouTube channel, WKDW 97.5, and like us, like all of our places. Wow, look at this room.
So this is our ceramic studio. They're working in an open studio this morning, so this is in an instructional class. They're just getting caught up on all their work for classes. So that's what we have going on here this morning. We will have a class this afternoon with Nicole. So that will be who's in here this afternoon. So excuse us, we're on the radio.
We're on the radio, but we're live on video. Yeah.
Oh, we have a library.
Yes, we do.
So we have the Velma Writings Library, and
we do have. I think we have over 400 books, and you're able to check them out if you're a member of the Art Center. But we have several art books, and so yeah, it's actually very popular with the membership.
oh, that's right. There's a second building.
Yeah, so this is where our last gallery is, the Mitchell Gallery. Which is popular. This actually creates me well, but this is a kid project that we did very early, sort of a tile mosaic project that we did.
Samantha, I'm going to ask you when you're walking. I know it's hard to do it backwards, but to be facing it because your voice models on us.
Okay,
okay.
So this area right over here, it looks a little bit like a trash bin, but actually we've just started turning this whole section into what we call an outdoor studio, or it's basically a kiln yard. So we just recently got a raku kiln. We actually did our first firing last Saturday with students, and so we're going to be regularly firing, except in the summer. We'll probably pull back a little bit, not fire as regularly in the summer. But so we're going to be using this space a lot more for things that need ventilation or things that are literally on fire, like raku.
And then explain to our audience, because there's a lot of people that don't know what raku is. I love raku. I love
raku is a firing process where you actually use open flame, and you put the ceramic pieces. They're usually fired to bisque already. You use a specific kind of glaze that will have a chemical reaction, and you put them into an open flame kiln, and you fire to a certain temperature. In our case, ours is propane driven, so you'll turn the gas off. And while the kiln is at about 1750 degrees, you'll pull it up and you'll remove those pieces while they're glowing hot. They're literally orange. That's how hot they are. And you'll put them into what's called a combustible bin. So that will either have wood chips or paper, sometimes horsehair, anything that's of natural origin. And that stuff will burn away, but the chemical reaction that the glaze has to that combustible will have a reaction on the pot. Then you leave it in there, you put the lid on so that the oxygen is taken away. It will turn the pot black. And you leave it in there for a couple of minutes, maybe, not even. Then you pull that out, and we put ours in water so that it kind of like sears. It also makes the temperature a little bit, you can handle it then. And then after a few minutes, you pull those out of the water, and you kind of sort of sand them. We use green scrubbies like you use in your own kitchen. And you kind of get that soot off, that black that's sort of adhered to it from the combustible material. And then you'll have a very almost metallic looking piece. So raku ceramics are not for consumption. You can't eat on them. You can't put them in your dishwasher, but they are quite lovely. They're very interesting. And raku is a very experimental process, so you really can't expect what is going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen with a raku piece. So it's going to look how it's going to look, and it's really interesting and fun.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you explain that, because I already knew what raku is. I really love raku. pieces in that, and they're pretty and they're unique.
Yes, they are very much so. And you never know. Like anybody who says that they knew exactly what was going to happen with the Raku piece isn't quite telling the truth.
So they're magicians then.
Yes,
right?
exactly. So now we're going to go into our Mitchell Gallery. This is our last gallery. In here, we have the work of Joyce Eli Walker. Joyce is an artist out of Parrish, Florida. She lives up a little bit north of here. She is a graduate of Florida universities, and she's been painting for a number of years. She used to be represented by, I believe by August, and I don't know if it's even on here anymore. But the gallery that she was represented by closed, that was up in Sarasota. And so she hasn't been showing as much since the pandemic, but she makes, the original work I saw of Joyce's was beautiful nests. They're actually sort of a version of watercolor. They're mixed media. She uses a lot of walnut oil, walnut ink, watercolor, graphite, but they're very detailed. And then as we started to put her show together and she started to paint, so we put a show together for Joyce, and then the pandemic happened. We were literally getting ready to take down a show and put up her show, and the pandemic happened. So this is nearly 2 years to the day after her show was originally going to be mounted, that we finally put up her show. But in the meantime, the 2 years that she started painting a completely different series. And so the pieces that you see, this one is the most different in her personal practice that she's ever done before. It's almost abstract. But the pieces that you see over here, the sea grape leaves, these are the new pieces that she's started to incorporate into her practice. So we're really happy to have Joyce's work. She's a lovely painter. This is one artist. I mean, we get tons of artists through here. I love all their work. I don't have a big enough home to have all of the work that I would like to have in it. But Joyce's, there's that little one on the end that might end up having to.
Have you considered the ceiling?
Yes.
That's where we've gone.
Yes, I might have to, because Joyce's nests they just really speak to me. I love the simplicity of them. And I think one of the things that I love, particularly about these nests in the front, is how brave Joyce is to show so much white space. It's really remarkable and brave, I think, when an artist is just not afraid to just leave the paper white. So
they are quite lovely. It doesn't make you wish you were a baby squirrel and you just want to cuddle up in there for a nice nap.
Yeah. So this is, this is our Mitchell Gallery. We usually curate this space. Since the pandemic, again, I think we're all going to live in this space. I lived in New York in 2004 and everything was post 9/11 at that time. I feel like now we're all going to live in this post-pandemic world. And so now we are curating this space. We used to change all of the galleries every 4 to 6 weeks. And you met my entire staff today.
They are amazing. I have to say, I want to get them all on the show to at least say hi to you girls. They are fantastic.
So that is my entire staff. There are 3 of us. So we have since changed to that front gallery, Mangrove, and Mitchell Gallery. We curate these spaces in for 3 months at a time now. And then the Laurenger Gallery and Members Gallery, we're changing those out every 6 weeks. So that's how often we change our show.
I do have a question about the gallery you're in. Your walls, how do you hang the pictures in there? Because they're different walls than the other type.
Yeah, so can you tell what's on the wall from where you're at? Can you see?
It looks like, is it Velcro stuff that you can put, is it stuff that you can put Velcro on the back?
It's carpet.
Okay.
We actually hang the wall. We hang the work with nails, just like any other gallery.
You can see the holes when you take out the nails because it's carpet, darling. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it once in France.
Yes, that's actually the reason. I don't know about in France, but that is the reason, because when you pull the nails, there's not as much. I mean, it's been a while. We need some upgrades. But
Well, and one of the things is that when you carpet the walls, it's a soundproof barrier for you. In the other rooms, when you have it, it echoes. But here, when you put carpeting on the wall, it actually absorbs that. So you can it's a good space to use. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Look how pretty this is.
It is.
It's really
It is.
lovely. It's really lovely. So once again, we are at the Englewood Art Center taking a beautiful tour with the director, Samantha Parkinsons. I'm giving you guys the dizzy spell here. Where else are we going?
Well, that is pretty much the tour. If you have any more questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. We can run back up to the front and see if we can corner Charlene and Erica and say hello to them.
Okay.
But otherwise, this is our facility. So we hope you guys will come out and check it out.
Absolutely. No, I want to do a shout out because there are different people watching. Charlene Elliott, and is Charlene part of your part there? And I know Charlene. Yeah. Our Charlene is a friend of us, my husband and myself. And then Trisha Tarleton, she is a friend of the radio station. She's a very good resident of the city of Northport. So hello, Trisha. Hello, Charlene. Thank you for watching. Besides Justin and Lee. No, if you post for listening or, our watching audience right now, if you post or hit the like or the love, we see that. I can see that, and I can actually do shout outs to you. So if you want to be recognized, just go ahead and do that. And we can see. And if there's any questions here, as we're going to round any of these, the studios right now, or on any of our shows, you can actually ask us questions and we're able to respond. Again, we're at the Englewood Art Center. Michelle Moore is on assignment. She's actually our tour guide. What do you call you, Michelle? What do we call you?
I'm on the spot correspondent for the Northport Art Center. Yes, let us turn the camera around. Here we are. We've just returned from Washington.
Yes, so, you did.
Hey.
Yes, and Philip had received, just to give a shout out to her husband, Philip Moore. He just received
the national award. Yes, Marie, he is the Pest Veteran of the Year. He received this award because he works within the pest management industry. So the National Pest Association, he was nominated nationwide, and we were flown out to Washington, D.C. to accept this honorable award. It is for veterans that work within the pest management industry who volunteer and work within their community to help other veterans. As you know, the Art of War is out of the Northport Art Center, and we've raised over $17,000 to be able to provide veterans with free art classes and supplies. And as a matter of fact, Samantha and I were just talking about it because, hey, we're going to have to move it again after the Military Heritage Museum. So the Art of War is on exhibit right now at the Military Heritage Museum in Punta Gorda, and it'll be there until the end of June, and we have a reception on April 14th. So it sounds like we have a date, April 14th, at the Military Heritage Museum in Punta Gorda. And then Sam and I were talking about, hey, what? Bringing it to the Englewood Art Center after that. So we'll see. Because the Art of War is moving all the time.
It is. It absolutely is. And it's such an amazing way when we're talking about art, taking photographs that Philip had taken while he was in Iraq, and then actually putting them on canvas. And the real cool, I don't know if it's cool for Philip, but he's colorblind. And it's a kind of colorblind that he wasn't exempt. He got a waiver.
He was able to get a waiver, yes, so he can see the map with different colored lights and flashlights. Thank goodness for that.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been very well received. In fact, they're doing a Welcome Back Vietnam Veterans on March 29th. And the person that's putting that together had said to me, "Oh, we have this art exhibit here." I said, "I know, we did a show on it, and I know Philip." Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Marie, did you know that Philip was also commissioned for a replica painting 24 by 36 by the Congressman Greg Stubbe, and it was delivered and installed. And during our visit to Washington, D.C., we were able to go and visit it. Not once, but twice we got cleared to go to Capitol Hill. That's what I'm talking about.
And thank you so much for doing that. And I know City Council person, City Commissioner Joe
Oh,
Luke was there with you, and
you
she
know
even
what? All
came
the
to the
heavens
work.
provided. Everything was such a blessing, and we were able to have Honorable Commissioner Joe Luke come out and watch Philip receive his award, and then she invited us back over to Capitol Hill to sit down and see Stubbe one more time. So we had a wonderful trip, and we're just still overwhelmed with how well Art of War has been received and how many veterans we can help out there. So if you're a
Uh,
veteran or you know a veteran, get on northportartcenter.org and enroll in the Art of War class at the bottom of the Art of War page. And we'll get a committee. We got the committee together, and they will give you a call so you can come take classes. Right now, we've got the Veterans Pottery Workshop on its way, and that's a 6-week pottery course, and that's all for free for our veterans. So we're really happy of how well it's been received, and we look forward to doing more for our veterans. I believe your partner is a veteran.
Correct. I might sign him up for that pottery class.
We have to
yeah,
get
yeah,
Samantha to talk a little louder. That's all I'm saying. She's
yeah,
very shy.
I am.
yeah, yeah.
Public speaking is not my
I got your
talent.
back, Sam. No problem.
I'm trying to see. Oh, here we go. I'm
Oh,
trying to see if I can find my stuff.
oh, wait, let me turn that beat around again. Hold on. I figured out how to turn this camera around, and I get so excited because we get such a nice view of what's going on.
This
There,
is Erica Groff. She is our program coordinator here. Erica is also an artist. You can see her work in the Englewood Sculpture Garden pretty soon, right? So Erica's been here since 2016, she's the coordinator. So she's the one that keeps all of our programs moving forward. She keeps everything, moving smoothly, making sure that we have, a lot of different types of classes, making sure everything's not, scheduled at the same time. So, and then Charlene, are you around?
Charlene ducked out.
Yeah,
She doesn't want to be.
another studio.
Yeah, she's working in a different project.
That is not Charlene.
No,
Yes.
she's working with another project this morning, a photography project. Oh, here she comes.
Charlene, hurry.
You've been fantastic. Oh, you're rocking it. Okay.
Yes, Charlene's watching it. This is great.
So this is Charlene. She's our operations person here, and she actually keeps all of our registration software running. She makes sure all the bills get paid. So she's a really important part of our team, and we're really grateful to have her. Charlene's been with us since 2012. Wow. So yeah, she's been here almost as long as I have. So yeah, we have a really great team here, and there's only 3 of us, but and the admin side, we do have one guy who works with us, but he's kind of behind the scenes. So this is our team, and we try to do what we can to make it happen here in Englewood.
How are you guys doing with volunteers? What does the Inglewood Art Center want to tell our audience?
So, in terms of volunteers, we are in a different space than we were, obviously, prior to COVID. And we don't really know kind of what's happening. Our community is changing quite a bit. That's one thing. We are getting a lot of new people who have never been here, who have moved to Florida sort of sight unseen, which is a little bit surprising. So if you want to come in, if you have a particular skill set that you think would be beneficial, just come in and talk to us about it, because we have areas where people have left and we need help. We need help in our library. We could use help with events. Those are the types of things that we specifically need help with. We, because of our rules and sort of protocols with Ringling, we don't actually assign people to the desk with volunteer work, but we do have other areas where we definitely could use the help, the library being a big one right now. So come talk to us.
I'm glad that you brought up that our demographic is changing with so many different people moving in, and you are getting a huge influx over in Englewood. More so than I've ever seen. I've lived here 34 years, and what I've seen happening with the demographics changing, and that makes a difference also with who's coming to your art center and how you're growing.
Absolutely, yes. We're having for the first time, we're having a lot of classes where we actually had a growth, kind of a growing pains, which was great and sad for us. But in the beginning of the year, sort of the end of the fall and beginning of the spring this year, we were having some frustration with our regular patrons who were not signing up for classes in time. And so they were having to be waitlisted because classes were full and they weren't able to get into their regular classes. So the number of people that were new, and we don't always see it. It's on the computer. People can register online for classes. So we didn't realize they weren't the ones not getting in, that all these people that were registering were new to us. So yes, the Englewood demographic is changing very rapidly. There are a significant number of new people here. If you're ever here on Thursday for the farmers market, just beware of the traffic. It's going to take you a little longer to get around up on Dearborn Street. So things like that. It's definitely a little bit different environment here.
Yeah, and especially when you're talking about the farmers market, you have a huge farmers market that a lot of people come to, and there's so much activity for that small little Dearborn Street right off of McCall there. It is a busy place, and it's unique. A lot of history in Englewood. In fact, that's one of the things too, is to learn about the history of the area and even about the history of the Englewood Art Center. Now, when did the Inglewood Art Center come into be? Even before they were with the Ringling?
So actually, the 501c3 that was the art center prior to the Ringling merger, it actually existed since the 1950s. They had a number of different names. They were an art guild. They were an artisan guild. They had they had a number of different independent locations. At one point, they were located up on Dearborn Street in a storefront, and different times. At one point, they were just located in someone's garage due to different economic circumstances. But it wasn't until 2001 that they moved to this building. I was actually purchased by this man. This is actually a photo of Mr. Laurenger right here. Mr. Laurenger bought this building and renovated it. He renovated the interior of this main building. He actually built the lobby and the Mangrove Gallery, added that on, and then he actually built the second building. One of the rooms we didn't go into in the second building is the digital lab, because there is a class going on in there right now. The photography, I think photography 2 is in there this morning. But so those were additions that were made in 2001. And from 2001 to 2008, they were an independent art center in this facility. So that is sort of the history of the art center independently of Ringling.
And that's so interesting, because when you go back in time, no matter what you're looking at, look at the history and how they got to where they are. Because a lot of times we walk into a space and don't understand what the journey was to get to that space.
Absolutely.
Even with the Northport Art Center, where their growing pains, I should probably say, that we're looking for a space out there and growth. Yeah, and absolutely. I'll let you talk about that, Michelle and Dee Dee.
Well, the Northport Art Center we have gotten very big for our britches. And we have run out of room because we're awesome. And the details probably would be best discussed with Dee Dee, because, I'll just make a big scene about it, because, you know me. Dee Dee?
Yes, ma'am.
How have we grown? How have we grown, sweetheart?
The Art Center in Northport started, 1988 actually, and it was in people's homes. It was in the library of Northport, and finally in 2010 we got a building that the city was originally the city municipal building. Now our building is only 8,000. Between two buildings, actually, we have a portable that was donated from the Florida College. So between the two buildings, it's 8,000 feet. So we're very tight and we're very small. So we're jealous, Samantha, of all your beautiful galleries, because we only have one little area to have a gallery here, and we have
I got one move.
that are overflowing. But we do have art in public places, so we're able to show art all around the city. So we're lucky with that. We have so many places of businesses that allow us to come in and hang art and show our artists off. So yeah, so
And you can find those wonderful.
now.
You can
What's
find
that?
those locations at northportartcenter.org and search for art in public places. And you can take a self-guided tour on our beautiful remote galleries around the city of Northport.
Isn't that beautiful? Now, one thing before we leave, because we're almost out, actually, we only have like 2 minutes left, is I would like to bring up on the screen here. In fact, I'm going to mute Dee Dee's because I'm getting background noise. I'll bring up your Facebook page. So, Samantha, would you tell people about your Facebook page here?
Yeah, sure. We do have a website that's ringling.edu/EAC, but we don't update that as frequently because it is part of the college, and so that's done through them. This is our Facebook page. It's just facebook.com/Inglewood Art Center, and that is the page that we as a staff are able to maintain and work through regularly. So we put all of the information. I would say that that's the most real time. If you're looking for information about what we have going on in real time, that is the place to find it. So as you can see, the very first one was just some photographs of Joyce's show in the back. These are the recent awards for the gallery. If we have an open call coming up, if we have a new series, a new catalog, or new registration coming up, we'll put it on Facebook promptly. So this is really the place I would say. Again, it's facebook.com/Inglewood Art Center.
And one of the things I would like to remind our audience too, the Englewood Art Center, if you're going to go to the Englewood Beach or the Minnesota Beach, go to the Art Center beforehand because you'll probably be dirty when you come off or you want to get home and you've been in the sun. But what a way to start a day.
That's why my phone was dirty.
Oh, were you at the beach first? Did you go to the beach first? No. But just so for people to know, you can make a day trip out of this and go to the art gallery. Go have lunch right on Dearborn. They have some really nice restaurants there and some old Florida. And then go to the Englewood Beach. Go to the beach, go up to Minnesota, the Blind Pass Beach. Actually, I prefer Blind Pass to go. Boca Grande actually is my favorite, but that's okay. But you're over on the West Coast of Florida, and what better way to spend a day, right, everybody?
Absolutely.
That's right. Come by the Northport Art Center and get a hall pass from Dee Dee.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank our audience right now. You have many choices in life to do, and for giving us your time to actually go on tour with us today and to actually taking the time out of your day, not only to listen to us if you're listening on the radio, or to absolutely watch us on any of the social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Thank you, everybody. This is Marie LaBrosse.
Dee Dee Gozion.
And Michelle
Joe
Moore.
Moore and Samantha Parkinson.
Thank you so much, Marie. Thank you, Dee Dee.
Thank you, Samantha.
And you're listening to us on the WKDW 97.5 FM Rural Community Radio out of Northport, Florida, coming from the Bishop West Real Estate Tower. We would like to really say you do have choices in life to be kind or not to be kind. What should we be, ladies?
Always choose
Kind.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. See you again next week on Kaleidoscope of the Arts.